Humanity landed on the moon, split the atom, built the internet, invented artificial intelligence. We proudly called ourselves an intelligent species, and yet show us a giant triangle on the horizontal, and we completely lose our mind. Mount Fuji. Think about it rationally. For thousands of years, Mount Fuji has accomplished absolutely nothing. It has never written a book, never composed a symphony, never founded a startup, never won the Nobel Prize, never launched a podcast, never posted on social media. In fact, its entire career can be profession summarized as standing in roughly the same place. That's it. That's the strategy. Meanwhile, humanity looks at it and says, magnificent. This is not a fair competition. Mount Fuji has a most ridiculous business model in history. Every company on earth is fighting for attention. They buy ads, hire influencers, develop branding strategies, employ public relations teams, pay marketing consultants absurd amount of money. Mount Fuji's strategy exists. That's it. Apple employs thousands of designers. Disney spends billions creating the magical experiences. Hollywood releases hundreds of movies every year. Mount Fuji just standing there. No advertising budget, no PR department, no social media manager, no crisis management team, no customer support, no website. And yeah, millions visit every year. Artists cannot stop painting it. Photographers cannot stop photographing it. Poet cannot stop writing about it. Tourists cannot stop pointing at it. If a marketing executive heard this story, they would quietly close their laptop and reconsider their entire professions. Mount Fuji as exploiting the bug in the human brains. Let's talk science. Humans like to think their brains are sophisticated. They are not. They are efficient, which is a polite scientific way of saying lazy. The brain does things that are simple, recognizable, and symmetrical. That's why we remember faces. That's why we love logos. That's why luxury brands spend millions simplifying their design. Mount Fuji, meanwhile, our life is looking like this. That's basically it. Children can draw it. Tourists can identify it. People who cannot draw can still draw it. You could sketch it with a stick and the door during an earthquake, and someday would still say, "Oh, look, Mount Fuji." Scientifically speaking, Fuji is not a mountain. It's a corporate logo accidentally created by geology. Fuji is suspiciously well designed. Here's the strange part. It's not the tallest mountain on Earth, not the oldest, not the largest, not the most difficult to climb. In every measurable category, there are mountains that outperform it. And we are Fuji 1? Why? Because humans rarely fall in love with extremes intense. They fall in love with things that are just right. Too high? Terrifying. Too low? Forgettable. Too dangerous? No thanks. Too safe? Boring down. Fuji sits in a psychological sweet spot, beautiful enough to admire, dangerous enough to respect, accessible enough to climb, majestic enough to worship. It's a mountain, equivalent of someone who is impossibly attractive, but still somehow approachable. Human beings are defenseless against this. The most impressive part, Fuji does know the work. This may be my favorite details. For centuries, artists painted Fuji, poets praised Fuji, monks prayed to Fuji, samurai admired Fuji, filmmakers filmed Fuji. Instagram influencers photographed Fuji, scientists studied Fuji, drone pilots circled Fuji, travel writers wrote entire books about Fuji. And what did Fuji contribute? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Imagine a group project where everyone works all night, researching, designing, presenting, arguing, revising. Then, the professor gives the highest grade to the one person who sat silently in the corner doing absolutely nothing. That person is Mount Fuji. Humanity has been running the same software for 1,000 years. 8,000 years ago, somebody looked at Fuji and wrote a poem. Today, somebody looks at Fuji and posts OMG. Different technology, same operating system. The hardware evolved, the software did not. The message remains unchanged. Everybody look, I saw Mount Fuji. Human civilization has produced quantum computers, reusable rockets, artificial intelligence. Yet, our emotional response to Fuji remains remarkable, similar to that of the traveler from the 12th century. That's actually kind of beautiful and slightly embarrassing awkward. The final score. So, why does Mount Fuji captivate people all over the world? Perhaps that's the wrong question. Mount Fuji is not captivating anyone. It is simply standing there. Humanity is doing all the captivating for thousands of years. If Fuji were conscious, it would probably be very confused. It might say, you built AI, didn't you? You mapped a human genome, right? You are planning a mission to Mars. And you're still excited to see me? And humanity would answer, yes. But look at you. And there is a story of how one volcano defeated an entire species without even realizing that there was a competition.